Oh, mic was muted. Welcome back. I redirected the mic slightly differently so it's less pointed at my nose and a little more towards my mouth. The goal was to point it away from the keyboard, but then I realized straight up isn't necessarily away from the keyboard. Keyboard's technically, well, I mean, it's downwards, but I don't lean over it, so angle is slightly different now. Hopefully, then less time when I'm laughing through my nose, it'll be clearly audible. My potion supply is low again, and I tossed out a bunch of bottles. It was the right choice, trust me. I'm taking up inventory space. Anyways, this time I'm thinking we're not quite in the point of building stuff, but what we could do is we could go to that zombie spawner I found. And what we could do with it is create a nice little farm so I can start grinding experience. So that way I could get to better tools for better farming of resources, which would just be generally conducive to a strong chance of survival. Though that's not very interesting. So instead I'm going to brew up some more health potions, and then I'm going to take off for adventure. Because adventure's fun. And what are we adventuring for? A couple of things, actually. We'll be looking for a nice, not spruce forest, dark oak forest. It does not need to possess a mansion inside, though not like the mansion would matter that much. But I mainly just want the wood. Because if I'm going to be building in a darker setting, I'm going to need some dark oak wood. And secondarily, we will be exploring oceans. Because we will be looking for our first major antagonist. The Elder Guardians. Which in themselves are very eldritch, so they are, of course, a great counterpart to me. Though, that being said, the only I've been over this in the past, the only non-eldritch entity that you can fight in Minecraft as a boss is the Ender Dragon. Because the Warden is a deep, dark creature that listens for footsteps, charges you as horns, comes out of the ground, and lives in this ancient, abandoned, essentially dwarven city, because it's underground, and only dwarves live underground, as we know. And the Elder Guardians are pretty obvious. They're these giant fish monsters with a big eye that train its focus on you to hurt you and possess thorns throughout their body, who live in these underwater temples. And the Wither is just like regular eldritch horror. He is a undead monstrosity brought back to life that massacres creatures by withering them away, taking away their life force. Ender Dragon is a little bit eldritch in the form that he is a dark entity, but overall less so than alternative creatures. We're taking lots of healing with me because I'm not going to get stuck out in the wilds with nothing. It's very dangerous. We don't need 7 cobble. We'll keep the double pickaxes. There's an crafted an axe as we're looking for a specific type of wood. I would be getting rid of the enchants we have. Do I care? They're not very valuable. Grab ourselves an efficiency 2 axe. Just efficiency 2. Silk touch on the pickaxe. Let's quickly check the enchants. See if there's anything we know we'll want. Boots, fire prop 4, good but not good enough. Power 4, that'd be a power 5 bow, and smite 4. Honestly, might be rare. We don't need it immediately, and it's not that rare. So, not too concerned about it. Got plenty of arrows. We will not be fighting the other guardian if I find it. Simply scouting its lair. Only 6 inventory slots. I don't need this gunpowder. 7 inventory slots. Plenty. Put you over there. Bed for exploration. Sun is setting. We'll wait a couple minutes for that. Which ways have I explored? You know, I know there's plenty of ocean this way. Because I came across like this. So that might be back towards spawn. I don't remember exactly how I came this far. Well, even if it's back towards spawn, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily against finding a new biome. I could also go do the classic nether exploration trick, but I've made an enemy of the creatures of the nether. Oh, also before I go, where did I put that backup shield? There we go. There is some dangerous creatures in the nether, and let's let them cool their heads. I did insult all of the creatures of the nether for being unable to kill me. And while it'll still be true if I go back, let's let them simmer a bit. And do I have the boat? No, the boat's over here. Yeah, we'll take it down that way. Why not? We're looking to go in the southern direction. South doesn't mean anything temperature-wise in Minecraft, because it's not like you're on a spherical world. Though technically, if you can see the horizon and you can't see past it, that usually is conducive of a curve. But, meh. It's just the limitation of my eyes, I suppose. My old eldritch eyes are unable to see that far. The limitations. Back in my youth, as a young non-elder god, I could see much farther. Oh, I could see into souls if I wanted. But nowadays it is as simply as far as the world's end. We're looking for sea temples, and we're looking for dark oak biomes. I didn't pack any gold with us, so if I happen to get apples, we will just have to save those apples. Nothing really to it. If we find any other structures, we might as well loot them. And honestly, tossing health potions if we run out of inventory isn't really a big deal. Well, I carry this many just in case things go really bad. It is overkill. Probably. So hopefully it will be wholly unnecessary. I haven't actually explored any of this ocean yet, so technically there could be a sea monument or sea temple or ocean monument. Whichever way you want to call them, it's the same thing. We all know what you're talking about. Right out this way, or it could be nowhere nearby. Similar to the Nether Fortress incident, I could pass one by just not seeing it and not knowing it's there, and then all of a sudden, on my way back from a different one, I happen to find it because I come back at a different angle. Always a possibility. But it doesn't really matter. We want it to be as close as possible. That's a very deep cave. I've discussed how drowned are the only potential dangers in those, so we can do some water-breathing mining in the future. Honestly, it's probably the safest way to mine. I should probably just start doing that. Though instead of healing potions, I'll still be packing my inventory with water-breathing potions, because I need to make sure I have enough to get out alive. Ah, more desert on the other side of the ocean. It's not very nice. Oh, we'll go around it. We'll see. Maybe it's just a small desert. Or maybe it's a massive desert and it'll be in the way. Alright, let's start going this way. The Ocean Monument doesn't have that many resources I need. It's mainly just about completing one of our big objectives, since we're killing the bosses. And the Dark Oak is just for wood for building purposes. There's a jungle. I don't know if with the temperature... I mean, these are obviously hot biomes. I don't know, and the Dark Oak is probably a temperate biome. But I'm not sure if it's like temperate cool or whatever. I don't know what distinctions there are. Now there's a regular forest here. And those could connect with Dark Oak, though it does appear to be surrounded by warmer biomes. The reason I'm talking about temperature is because biome generation Minecraft, for those of you who are unaware, generates based off of a temperature reading. So a biome can only border another biome if its temperature is right. For instance, a desert won't generate next to a snowy plains. But a regular plains is like base neutral. It can spawn next to hot biomes and cold biomes. It has a very wide range. Deserts, or well, beaches can spawn next to any biome because they lead into oceans. Oceans that spawn next to deserts can be warm oceans, while your icebergs will be in colder areas, generally surrounded by snowy plains and taigas. Well, we'll just hop back in the water because I guess we are looking for things oceanic. So, but that's the basics to Minecraft generation after a certain point. If you're playing before the version where they did, I think it was the biomes update, which was the same as the oceans update. If you're playing before then this doesn't really apply to you at all. Because back then, it was just as simple as what biome just happens to generate. You see, back in the day, there weren't this many biomes. Like right now, I'm in the jungle's edge, which is next to a jungle and a plains biome. It's a biome made for blending the two together. Well, back in the day, this didn't exist. This is probably a stone beach. What? I don't have the water bucket on my hotbar. There, better inventory. And there, of course, wasn't all these oceans. Before you had your plains, even the savanna was newer, and so was the dark oak. They added the next two types of wood. At first, there were four types of wood. Oak, well, at first there was oak. Then there was oak, birch, spruce, and jungle. That was it. Now we have several more. Which, I mean, the more diversity in blocks this game has, the better off the game will be. This is a sandbox game, which means you get to make of it whatever you will. So the more options the game gives you, the better. Now, that comes with the disadvantages of that there's a lot of junk blocks. Hey, apples. Do love me some apples for the explicit purpose of not having to chop trees for them. They won't mind. Hey, an apple from breaking that leaf. Lots and lots of apples. Very nice. We have the goal to turn these all into golden apples when we get back to base. Check these last few houses because quite literally the best thing we can get is apples. One of these. What do you even sell? Stone tools. Well, can't say I'm very tempted as I am clad in shining diamond. Ah, birch forest. Great for if you need birch wood. Well, the birch forest didn't exist. It was just that forest biomes also generated birch trees. Jungles generated jungle trees. Taigas existed. Snowy plains existed. Plains existed. And then I think there was like cold beach as well was a thing, but or maybe that was added later. There wasn't a lot. All ocean was just called ocean. All of the nether was just called hell. There wasn't really a lot for exploration reasons. Then they added, Savannah and Extreme Hills was also one of the originals. But there weren't a lot, and now there's a lot. Biomes. There's several ocean biomes. There's different types of forests. There's biomes that specifically are made to blend into other biomes. Now the problem with the temperature reading is that you'll get biomes that loop over and over and over again because I generate a warm biome, then I generate a hot biome, then I generate a warm biome, then I generate a hot biome. And that leads to things like, oh, there's a jungle. There's another jungle. There's another jungle back there. And oceans actually have a built-in setting that prevent them from doing that. Where there has to be a land-based biome every certain number. Because it used to be possible that you hopped in a boat to try to explore, to look for something new. And you explored infinitely and never found it. Because, like, the Mushroom Island is a rare biome. But it's an island. You need to... I don't know what's wrong with these chests, but they always seem to have problems just opening. There's nothing explaining it. There we go. Oh, I took damage from the chest opening. Maybe it was I technically drowned. I don't know. Well, there's a buried treasure map. And for some reason it did what the previous buried treasure map did, which was generate as just a regular empty map. I don't know what's happening with that type of stuff. It's the second time that's happened. This time I made sure to read that it said that it was a treasure map before I opened it. Didn't say empty map, it said treasure map. The only thing I can imagine is there's something bugging out with the chest, the inventories of the chest. So when I open it, the game's lagging trying to generate the buried treasure map. But the buried treasure doesn't exist, so it just bugs out. Or maybe the buried treasure does exist, and that's even worse, because now I just can't find it, because the buried treasure maps don't lead there. They just open as regular empty maps. I don't need more melons at the moment. If I'm ever desperate, there are jungles literally everywhere, as we have just discovered. Into the water, hop into the boat, and explore into the ocean further. But you used to be able to... So the oceans used to not have a generation endpoint. They didn't have like the... After a certain amount of chunks of ocean, new biome has to be generated. Or specifically, new land biome had to be generated. Instead, you could just hop in ocean biome, and ocean would just keep generating for a very long time. Now, not truly infinite, but it would be very, very long. Like, you could be in a boat for over an hour going in a straight line of just ocean. And this is why everybody called them infinite ocean biomes. And, I mean, once you were committed, if you went an hour forward in a boat, and you wanted to stop exploring this ocean biome, you would either have to bet that it ends in an hour going forward, or just turn back and go an hour backwards. Because for all the distance you made, you had to go back. So most people would just go, well, I've already been here for an hour. Hopefully it would end soon. And then you could go for another hour, in which then you'd realize your mistake. But now you've compounded. Because now it's not an hour back anymore. It's 2 hours back. Which was truly terrible. Now I think if you go out for like 15 minutes, you're bound to find another biome. So, definitely one of the better changes that the game has made. Village looks quite robust. Yes, hello. An emerald. Thank you. I will cherish it. Hey, pick up the boat. Yep. Villages also look better now. They used to only have a single villager house, and all of these villager houses just look better. But they used to just have one villager house type that was copy and pasted, one farm. It looked similar to this. I think it was slightly worse looking because it didn't have the trim that this does. It just had a little. Make sure. Wow, that's a lot of apples. Right in here. No apples in there. Alright, we are at 16 apples. It is 2 stacks of gold worth of apples. But they used to have... And they almost always used to generate a blacksmith, though. And they would generate a priest, like one of those structures. They didn't have all these occupations. A lot of them were added later. And villagers would just spawn with occupations. It wasn't based off an occupation block. A building would generate with a priest. Or the church building would generate with the priest. A house would generate with a farmer. But they didn't have like hats on. You would just trade with... You just walk up to a villager, right click it, and there is trades. Maybe there was mild, like, defining features between the occupation villagers. But essentially all of them were just farmers in terms of functioning. So, that's what you had to deal with. It wasn't like a detrimental thing. It was just how the game was. And you could still trade with villagers. It's been in the game for a long time. But the trades they had weren't as beneficial as they are now. Now you can essentially live off of villager trades, and you can resurrect them from zombified form and keep them in a cage, and they will just trade with you and treat you as a hero because you've saved them. That was a donkey. Just heard, probably up this hill. There he is. I could have brought a saddle and gotten the donkey. Donkey will be useful for if I find, say, a dark oak forest. Or if I'm ever going for a really far away biome. Hey, there's another plains village down there. Also, villages used to look identical. There was 2 types of villages. There was the plains village and there was the desert village. They would look identical. Holy shit. Did I just see what I thought I saw? The mythical blacksmith? Oh my lord. And there could be secrets. Could be engineering parts forged by gods. Could be weapons of mass destruction made for only the worthiest to wield. Or it could be an iron chest plate. Which is likely. I haven't gotten there yet. Also, lots and lots of apples. I'm glad I'm not going to have to go on a clear-cutting spree. Because I don't like having to sit there just waiting for apples to decay. Or waiting for leaves to decay to give me apples. Honestly, that's a pretty goated sword. To just be selling. You're a fine craftsman, and what do you keep? Oh, of course, a fine craftsman like you carries apples, obsidian in large amounts, and a saddle. Oh my god, so many apples, man. 38 apples. Now, carrying like half a stack of golden apples on me would be a lot of healing. Unrivalable by the health potions. How about you, Master Fletcher? 32 sticks for an emerald. I guess technically if I just clear cut, that would be a pretty good deal. Probably what most people do. Because, yeah, 32 sticks is difficult. I carry tons of sticks on me. But each log gives 4 planks. 2 planks gives 4 sticks. So each log gives 8 sticks. So it's 4 logs per emerald. Yeah, that's an extremely good deal. We aren't traveling through the ocean, so we're not going to be able to find an ocean monument. That much is pretty obvious, but we are bound to find the dark oak. Well, actually, we're not bound to do it, but I like my odds. Ooh, a spruce. I do just generally enjoy spruce wood, and it is dark enough to be used instead. I planned on using planks, but I could find use in some spruce logs, especially knowing where a spruce village is beneficial. Not spruce village, spruce biome. A taiga. Excuse me, just had a tickle in my throat. I still have it. Give me one second. I'm going to mute and cough. I hope all of you coughed with me so that way we could really be unified. But I feel that many of you didn't. You just let me cough on my own. It's okay. No, I understand. You didn't need to cough. It's fine. Normally when you just generate an area and you hear mobs, that means a spawner. Ah, a lava pool. There's the big tree. Big trees can be very fun to cut down, in my opinion. So you take your... Good, we're going to want this on the hotbar just in case I do something stupid. Dig 3 blocks at a time, like this. I hope that's not a thunderstorm, because as you know, climbing a tree is not what you want to do in a thunderstorm. This is my fun way of cutting down these trees. Just chop yourself up a staircase until you get to the top. Because I like chopping whole trees. It feels awkward to me to chop down only parts of a tree. Also, I'm perfectly fine with throwing away glass bottles instead of potions. Glass bottles are cheap. So is talk. Alright, and now we get to this part. We just start doing this. Oops. And then once you get down to where your staircase is, you just have this stump, but I mean at that point you should be at essentially ground level. Let's toss out this glass bottle. We don't need it. And with that we have a stack and some spruce. Is it nighttime as well? It looks dark. Could be. It is. My oh my, how did I not recognize the time? Anyways, I do want more. I am fine with dropping these oak logs. while they are my general building block of choice and crafting block, they're just wood. And I have plenty of it. I can get plenty more. This spruce, though, if I plan on building with it, I'll want in a large amount. Ooh. Alright, so when you do that, you do just fill in that block, because that means you're going to be missing a stair. You can't do the staircasing without a stair. It just doesn't work. But I find something oddly satisfying about chopping the whole tree down like this. Just going in from the inside, doing the circle up, and then chopping it down once you've reached the top is just, I don't know. I guess you could say oddly satisfying, but I mean, yeah, I guess we can just say oddly satisfying. It wasn't exactly what I was going for, but it conveys the point. Also, chopping them in the water stream was on purpose. Now I need 3 logs, so I'll chop down this tiny little tree and leave a couple logs to decay, because I also don't like having a couple out from the inventory. With that, we are next to an ocean. We'll sweep it real quick for an ocean temple, then start heading back to base. Unless we just happen to find a dark oak biome directly next to the taiga, I can build with both. I'm not sure which one I'd actually want, so it's probably good to have both. Dark oak planks are darker. I like the spruce logs a bit better, but for some builds, having this would just be better. So here's the comparison of them. So you see that the spruce is a bit warmer, which might actually make the dark oak better for my purposes. And the inside of the log looks like that, while for dark oak it's much darker like that. You can see the difference there. You can also strip a log to sort of get another version of it that's more in line with that middle color. And I mean, dark oaks follow the same principle, where you can just chop up in this square. Though their trees aren't as big just straight up, they have these branching off pieces, but you just chop those because you can see where they are. It does take 4 saplings to grow one of these trees, just like an old jungle tree. Now jungle trees, there are the small versions as well. There used to not be those. But we're just going to grab, again, we'll go for like 3 stacks, which means we'll have to drop 2 things. Honestly, no, I mean, we'll probably drop the oak logs. Maybe like the 6 obsidian, because we don't need obsidian right now, so keeping it on me isn't too important. I'm not doing anything with it anyways. Plus, later I can just mine. I can always just go mine obsidian. It's not a big deal at all. So yeah, I'll probably drop that 6 obsidian. Obsidian is obnoxious to mine, but it's by no means rare. Also, I'm aware that I could just grow more of these by my base with bone meal, but I mean, look at how plentiful they are here, these trees. So I'd rather just pick up a few stacks of the wood than like 16 saplings, because while yes, I could just grow those 16 saplings, I don't want to. Plus, I'm going to be limited to the amount of trees I have at any given point. Well, this way I can just come out here, gather a bunch, then go back. Jumping down trees, of course, reminds me of course, I say as I lead into a sentence where of course will not be an evident sentence. I'm always reminded of Age of Empires because it is the game of my childhood, and there's a lot of chopping of wood as you send villagers to chop wood. It's one of the 4 ingredients of that game. Ingredients of the game? One of the 4 resources. They are just resources. 9 emeralds. I'm not doing anything with emeralds right now. I could toss them as well. Because these will be building blocks. These are my resources, my wood for survival. Sticks are cheap. 32 sticks is worth 1 emerald, but 9 emeralds is like a lot more. I don't like how these trees are so combined. It's going to prevent the leaf decay. Oh my, an apple. Because I don't have many of those, he said sarcastically, looking at his pocket filled with 39 apples. I sell those things. Anything they sell in like by the dozen will not fit. Well, I guess no. If they sell them by the dozen, you'd think, oh, they're smaller. Yeah, eggs are smaller than apples, though, and apples they sell by the, not even the dozen, usually by like, how many is in a small box? Like 8 to 16, depending on the size of the apple. But they usually are like pretty sizable containers. Unless you're just getting it on its own, in which then none of this even applies. You just buy singular apples, however many you need. Anyways, 39 apples. By their color, we'll just assume that they're Red Delicious, which is unfortunate because Red Delicious are not the best apple. Best apple probably goes to something like a Fuji or a Honeycrisp is their classic, good, juicy apple. Obviously, if you like a sour apple, then you like a different apple. It's that simple. I'm talking about the nice, juicy, sweet ones that most people enjoy. Hey, what up, turtles? Yeah, I'm just performing some deforestation. What about it? Hey, I'm not polluting your waters. Though I did leave a bunch of sticks and debris on your shores. I'm sorry about that. You can get 4 types of wood from this one location. Regular forest, birch forest, taiga, dark oak are all visible. Man, but I don't have a... I did walk through some of this terrain, so I will need to pick my boat back up. Now, boat's only worth 5 wood, but I really wouldn't want to craft another. My inventory is so valuable, it's stacked. The 9 emeralds. The convenience value of not having to craft another boat is what I am paying for with those 9 emeralds. To the ferryman, the 9 emeralds go. Can a donkey fit inside of this boat? What about, like, you? You can. Can I ride with you? You can ride with me. I did not mean to strike you with my sword. It was the sweeping edge. I don't know my own power. If I find a donkey, I'll put him in the boat. I'll probably leave him in the boat, too. I'll take him as a oceanic transport. Feels like the worst way to do that. There's Sam Stick Guy, Sam Blacksmith, the legend himself, who sells a very highly enchanted sword. Just keep going this way. Been riding the high of stealing all this bread, but I probably will want something a bit meatier. There's a horse. Horse is a horse, of course, but they cannot be packed with a chest to carry my things. Though the child of a horse and a donkey, a mule, can. Mules, by the way, are a classic example of whatever that type of creature is called. A creature who can be bred between 2 somewhat closely related animals, but cannot be. So, a mule is the offspring of 2 creatures who can produce offspring, but a mule cannot produce offspring. It is lacking the proper genetics to produce more of its kind, which is a strange phenomenon in nature, but a mule is the classic example of it. But you'll find other examples of creatures who have crossbred, like zebras and lions. Not zebras and lions. What am I thinking? Tigers and lions. Ignore me. Zebras and lions is not it. I was thinking liger, and for some reason, just the Z popped into my, and I was like zebra. No, tigers and lions. That water just, oh, that's because it cuts off that cave and begins a different one. Tigers and lions can breed. They produce offspring called a liger. A liger cannot produce offspring. You cannot breed two ligers to produce more ligers. But a lion and a tiger can breed to produce ligers. It's strange how that works, but it's a real thing. Look it up if you don't believe me. I'm sorry, librarian. Another sleepless night for you because I am stealing your bed. Did I need to? No. What do you even sell? Flame. You know what? I'm gonna leave you alone. Hello, green shirt man. You look like a town hall. Ooh, a vast library. Not that vast, actually. I've seen compact villages with more bookshelves than this. Libraries also used to all be the same. They just had 3. Can't put wood in here. It's a stone cutter. Different blade. I was thinking of a wood cutter. Well, that would be a lumberjack. Earlier I mentioned the relation to Age of Empires, but I got cut off. Well, I didn't get cut off. I cut myself off with my own tangent. But whenever I think of like chopping wood, I always just think of the lumberjack's job when a villager gets told to chop down trees. And the words they would say, because the villagers in that Age of Empires has some pretty famous sounds. The most famous Age of Empires sound is the priest sound, though. Anybody who's played Age of Empires just got PTSD. And then in Age of Empires 2, the sound would change slightly. Instead of being it would be you're the flame guy? No! You're the efficiency 4 guy! Holy. You're just south, essentially, of my base. I know this because all I've done is travel mainly south. I did technically deviate. Yeah, I guess with a village that big. One day in my city I'll erect, one day, I'll have a massive library with lots of lecterns, which will cause many a librarian. I wonder if there's any mods that allow you to steal. I'm going to finish my Age of Empires thing first. Anyways, the Age of Empires villagers would make certain sounds. And the one I most associate with the chopping of trees, because it sounds like it has the word timber in it, is when they would say Timberhofmandi, and you would talk to them. That might mean something in another language, but I associate it with villagers going to chop wood. So whenever I start chopping wood in this game, I just think to myself, Timberhofmandi. And that's just it. It wasn't much to the story. Anyways, I was going to say, I wonder if there's a mod that allows you to just steal from villagers. Like, you can bully them into... Oh, there's an icy biome up there. That's neat. Like, you can bully them into submission, I suppose. Make sure we get air. We are a bit deep. There's a second one, but I believe the third one will be the one with most value. Carrots. I like carrots. Yeah, this is the busted chest again. We'll sit here and we'll let it generate, and we'll see if that helps. Alright, it's generated. It says buried treasure map. but it doesn't look like a treasure map. It's just, yeah, they're not. Look this up real quick using the handy dandy. Minecraft buried treasure map becoming empty map after chest lag. Ah, this is a 1.19.1 bug, but I'm playing at 1.2. Yeah, I'm getting this. All right, there's a top answer to this question on Reddit. Uh, we'll just continue using this. I don't have the Reddit up. If the game can't locate a buried treasure after using up a reasonable amount of time and memory, it gives up and converts the treasure map to a normal map. A symptom of this is a long delay when first opening the chest you found the map in. Alright, so it is what I predicted, where it is just. I don't need more of this coast trim. I could just spend 7 diamonds on more of that coast trim. I could just spend a bone on more carrots, though. Touche. A bone is cheaper. A couple bones is cheaper than 7 diamonds. But I was talking about the if there was a mod that allows you to just like roughhouse a villager and force it to give up its trades or its emeralds. That'd be a neat mod. I'm not sure how difficult it would be to make. I am obviously not a Minecraft modder. But it seems like the type of thing that is possible to make. I mean, with how much convoluted stuff I've seen made in Minecraft, there has to be someone with the know-how to make something, excuse my wording, as basic as stealing from villagers. So I imagine it's been done before, and if it hasn't, I mean, I'm not going to claim copyright on it. I've never done it, never developed the mod, and the idea I'm probably not the first one to have it. I don't want to go too far north because eventually I will end up with I just realized that empty slot was the one for the boat. And the trim really is like the least important thing here. If it was a better looking trim, I might value you more than the boat. But yeah, not good enough. A nice little village. This would be a lovely house. This one right here, right on the waterfront, while still being a little uphill. So water. Oh, and you've even got this lovely little patio, which you could definitely trip over and just break your ankles pretty badly. Any special structures? I'm not seeing any. And I'm not going to loot every house just to see if they have apples. I have a doctor problem. And I found the perfect way to scare them off. Ah, and there's the big ice cap mountain. It's quite nice looking. Ah, and then there's a snowy ice-capped savanna. That is usually avoided due to the temperature. But sometimes a game makes small errors in its generation, like generating snow next to a hot biome. I'm just going to imagine that a snow-tipped mountain is a cold biome, seeing as it comes with snow, which is generally considered cold. And savannas generally pretty warm to even some might say hot. The most known savanna would be the African savanna. Well, that's the one I know best. If we're not talking about Savannah, Georgia, which I don't know much about, so I guess it would still probably be Listen, I would have less know-how than about the African savanna. And I don't mean the Sahara. The Sahara is a desert. The savanna is the large open stretch with all the animals where like every other National Geographic video is filmed. I say video, but it's more of like a movie or documentaries. You know what I'm talking about. I have videos too. I'm not insane. You're insane. I'm insane too, but you're insane as well. We're all insane. I like this generation of blocks. Nothing I can really do with it, but I enjoy its generation, I'll tell you that. Is this the biome I ran through? I feel like I ran through this biome. Yeah, because I was on top of that. So I essentially just go north from here. Sun's going down. Can I make it back to base before I need to rest? I'm going to try. I'm probably going to fail, then sleep anyways, but we'll make our mad dash for it. We found the type of wood we were looking for and a different type of wood, which, I mean, isn't the ideal. We were looking for also an ocean temple, but we'll just check a different direction next time. There we go. Hop in the water. Oh yeah, we're actually nowhere near the base. It's probably another 5 minutes out, so you get to enjoy me for 5 more minutes because I'll probably end the episode as soon as we get back to base because we've been going for a little while. I also don't have a timer set up to make things go at an equal length. There's just a timer built into OBS that tells you how long you've been recording for, or how long the recording is. If you pause it, it doesn't keep going. It tells you how long. I'm sure you can set it up so it does, but mine does not. Or maybe you can't. But there's a little recording timer, and I've been using that. Howdy, horses. Hey, for you. Yeah, I think I was in this water. Not exactly sure 100% where I am, but I'm somewhere. Everybody's got to go somewhere sometime. That's just the way movement works. We need to sail our way this way. Eating up some bread as we move along. Don't need bread right now, actually, so I've lied. I'm a liar. Whenever I hear the word liar, I think of Pirates of the Caribbean 2. Davy Jones speaking to Bootstrap Bill Turner, who is saving his son William from eternity upon the Dutchman. And when he gets called a liar in Liar's Dice, he goes, "You're a liar, and you'll spend eternity upon the Dutchman." So whenever I think of the word liar, I just think I'll serve an eternity upon the Dutchman. Now, I'm not deterred from lying because I believe that I will spend an eternity aboard the Dutchman. I'm deterred from lying because I'm just like a genuine person. Well, I lie sometimes for like jokes, but I don't like lying in general because having integrity is very important to me. But in the vein of feeling like going upon the Dutchman, that's just a quote. I don't feel like I'm going to spend eternity upon the Dutchman. I just think the quote whenever I say the word liar. Also, I cannot do the Davy Jones voice. If you were expecting me to do a perfect impression, I'm sorry I let you down. I genuinely am. And now I'm lying because I don't genuinely care whether I let you down or not. I don't know why you were expecting it. There has been nothing here that has suggested I am perfect at accent work. I've got a couple down, but none of them are good. I just have a couple that I'm okay with. It's probably on this side of the mountain, I imagine. That dude just jumped in front of my ship. Is that a piranha, or is he just like a dude? Not much more to be said. We'll be wrapping up this video shortly. Only a couple minutes from base. We got the wood I wanted, which was nice. Yeah, that was We didn't find the Ocean Temple, so don't expect us to go fighting any Elder Guardians because I don't know where they are. They hide from me. But I will find them. And I will make an absurd narrative to why I, an elder god of the overworld, am going to meet them. I've already got a plan for it, of my fun story. So be prepared to be entertained when we get there. Hopefully you're entertained. I like the absurdities, so prepare for absurdity. Which village is this? Something's not right here. No, you see, my house should be here, not this village. Whose village is this? Not mine. Just go around, keep moving. Oh, wait, no, this is probably the village that's right there to my house. Gotta go this way. There's the giant chunk. Again, I don't think you're gonna have a better way to denote your home's location than a giant, vast pit like this where the earth has opened. It even looks like lacerated here with these caves, just chunks through it. And here we are, back to our home. And we sort of know what's south for us now. Put this back on a better side. You know what? No, I can live right here. Here we go. 3 stacks of spruce logs, 3 stacks of that. Another saddle. Eventually we'll need them. For something. Not taking any to make a notch apple. See in a moment. Undo that. I meant to put the gold blocks there. Didn't mean to turn all of these to gold nuggets. That's aggravating. Not oddly satisfying. There we go. Make that one. Well, I'll put you in there. Turn you into that. Once around. Twice around. An extra time around. Put the apples in the middle. There we go. 17 gold apples. That's a decent chunk of healing right there to keep on the hotbar, usable in combat. And overall, that's what? 17 by 2 is 34. So we have 34 hearts worth of healing with 34 hearts worth of absorption. Along with some genuine better forms of healing, but you know. I can put a couple of these away because I'm not as desperate for healing. Since I now have the addition of my special, and we can put one more region away. I mean, this inventory is a lot cleaner now, and I can afford to have it cleaner because, well, I have all these golden apples, which are a bunch of healing in a stack. Now, I mean, they're far more expensive. I mean, that was over 2 stacks of gold for this. One more apple on top of that chunked my gold supply. But I mean, this is what I got all that gold for. So, next time, we'll either continue exploring or we'll do something else. We'll find something to do. But that's for next time. See you then.